All right. Good morning. Funny, it is just a small group this morning, which I am good with. I hope you guys are also. So, if any of you are willing to pop in your chat box or turn your camera on, thanks, Ann. Um, Tell me what you guys need the most help with right now. Okay, because I know what I'm hearing from my coaching clients. I know what the market's telling me, but I want to make sure that I am right on for what you guys need in your businesses right now. So when you think of handling objections, when you think of conversations you're struggling with, throw those in the chat box and I'll make sure that those get on the rotation for the next couple weeks. Okay, so tell me what you're really struggling with in this market. Okay. The two things we've been talking about a lot is finding the motivated, right? Digging through all the others and really finding and focusing on the people who are highly motivated, right? And how do we potentially create urgency or where are opportunities to create urgency to help people get off the fence? Okay. So I'm going to start with urgency quickly this morning because you guys, I'm sure, are watching rates. They're down. Okay. Last year, rates went down like this at the same time for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Okay. So talk about creating urgency. Hi, everybody, hopping on. We're talking about the interest rates and how they've dropped right now. And last year, they did the exact same thing for 3 weeks. Okay. So, this is time, right? This is the put your head down, get them time. This is how you finish your year out strong. And the market has just handed you a reason to reach out to everyone on a silver platter. Take advantage. Whether it's current people saying take advantage of the lower rates for refinancing if you had to buy when your rates were high, right? Anyone that bought an investment property, they probably didn't buy it in the 3 weeks last year and are sitting on potentially a higher rate, right? That they could take advantage of if the rate with the rates being down. Okay. So that is my first big aha I want you guys to get this morning. So if you've ever worried about what do you say to your people, here's what you say, right? Take advantage. This happened last year for 3 weeks. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it'll be shorter or longer. Here's what I do know. Now it's here, right? And it won't be here forever. Okay, and all your fence sitter buyers, have that conversation. And all your sellers, if you see showings increasing, which you likely will because rates, right, are maybe getting some people thinking and getting back out there, now is the time to get your listings priced right also. Okay, and take advantage of this slur of buyers that might inflate these next couple weeks and may not be there, right? 2 months from now. Okay, so any questions, holler at me on that, but a great reason to call. I didn't want you guys to miss it. Okay, so the second part of, and some of you that hopped on late, if you have any objections, scripts you really want to work on, or things that you're struggling with in this specific market, drop it in the chat box. Okay, so that I make sure I'm really getting to the things that you guys need to be talking about on these calls. This morning, where we're going to spend time is the other part of what I said, which is finding the motivated, right? So when we have to work with clients longer, when we have less people motivated to do something quickly, right? We have to now prioritize our clients, our communication, and our energy accordingly, right? So we will do the ABC buyer script, but I want you to think of today as if you're putting everybody in an ABC column for how motivated they are. Okay, what's their motivation level? And as we go through today's scripting and pre-qualifying, I want you to answer these three questions. How ready is the client? Are they ready to get out and do something right now, write an offer today, and close on something quickly? Are they willing to do what it takes to get the property that's in their price point, right? So there are certain market conditions that happen at all times, and are they willing to not get a warranty because they have to negotiate differently, right? Or are they stuck on that? You got to dig into all this stuff. Are they willing? Okay, because that's a huge one. Because a lot of the times, this last one, are they able, is the first one you start with, and you say, well, they can, so they should. Oh, right. That's our first mistake. How many people can, of course, but they aren't. And it's because there's something missing in those other two, right? They're not really ready for whatever reason. There's something holding them back, and they're not really willing. Okay. So now what do we do? As we're asking these questions and finding out how ready, willing, and able they are, then we're going to formulate our next steps based off of those answers. Okay, so this prequal is so important because it's going to set you up immediately to set the expectations with this person about, okay, great, now I know this stuff, and here's what we're going to do next. Give them homework, give yourself homework to follow up with them, right? That's how you're not rushing out to try to go on listing appointments right now for anyone that raises their hand, right? Buyers being anxious to run out and meet them. Put them all through your pre-qualify process, and you're going to determine, are they ready, willing, and able? And then you're going to align your communication style with that. So, hey, because this is where you are, I'm going to be doing this, looking for whatever, watching for your perfect house, and I'll let you know. In the meantime, okay? So that's what I want you guys to be thinking about, because these pre-qual questions are your moneymaker right now. Okay, so the first thing is, if you're not generating enough leads, you got to go out there and figure out how you can do that, right? Start with your sphere, start calling them, asking for referrals, then go to neighborhoods, buyer leads, all the things, right? You have plenty of people to call. So first, generate enough leads, right? And then second, find the motivated of those and take advantage of their opportunity in the market. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. Your prequel questions are on pages 24 for your sellers. Oop, I wrote it down. And 44 for your buyers. Okay. So first and foremost, I want you guys to look at this list and kind of tell me, what are the questions you're avoiding in this?
Probably number 9.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yep. That's a super common one. Let me move it up just a little bit. Here's the other thing I want you to think about. If you've lost a seller recently, right, because you've lost the listing, lost an appointment to another agent, whatever it was, what was the one question you should have asked to make sure you'd get that business? So typically we go for these, right? Price is pretty easy. Sometimes you tend to miss, what's a price you won't go below? Okay, that's an important one before you get out there, because if you look at comps and they've said we will not go below 400, and you're like, oh God, this is a 375 listing, that is an appointment you probably aren't going on, right? That's a call. And then say, oh, here's what I found. Okay, do you still want to meet? How much do you owe on the property? Guys, if that's one you've gotten out of the habit asking, you've got to ask that question again. We're seeing people upside down on mortgages and bringing money to closing. Okay, so it is an important question to ask. It seems crazy, but you got to get it back on your rotation.
Julie, this might be kind of one of those that it's like, how do you anticipate all the things? But I met folks at an open house on a Sunday, would go to their house on Tuesday night, But in the meantime, on Tuesday, what do? They popped onto Zillow, went and went and did a tour, signed something with someone else. So it's like I need to add kind of, hey, and by the way, if you're looking, and then try to close the gap, I'm thinking, obviously, try to close the gap and be like, after the open house, hey, I'll see you at 3:30.
Yeah. Well, and did you pre-qual them? Did you take the time to set up the call to ask all the questions to prepare for the meeting?
You know what? There was always absolutely, they were there at my open house for an hour. And so
Yeah.
I feel like
Yep.
as
That's,
much as I could do and felt like I had solidified
yep.
this relationship naively, Julie, naively.
Well,
Um,
and it's honest. We've all done it. I've done it many a times, which is why this became a no questions asked part of the process. Because think about
mhm,
how it could have changed things. You left that
yes.
open house, you set that appointment, you're going to meet them Tuesday at 3:30, and then you say, in preparation for our meeting on Tuesday, I have some questions I need to know. When do you have 15 minutes that we can just chat before then? Okay.
Yep.
And then, Anne, let's role play this. Are you willing?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what you learned about them at the open house. Give me the high level. What questions had you answered on this list, basically, real quick? Because you
Okay.
answered some of them for sure in your conversations.
List your okay, number one, yes, they were ready to list their home because at the time the home I was showing was something that they were very interested in making an offer on.
Okay.
Okay. Number two, what are your top goals for a meeting? Um, I would say getting it sold quickly, and they were worried because they had only moved into the home. It was, I think this happened a few weeks ago, like 2 to 3 years ago. So they were also concerned about would they even get what they paid for it?
Got it. Got it. Can they do it? So can they sell
Yes,
it fast? Is it possible? Okay.
yes. And they
Okay.
were moving and Julie, if you want me to stop, I
No, you're
can.
good.
Okay. They were moving, they told me, because this home was only a mile away from their daughter. Guess what? That's not where they moved. But at the time, it was very compelling as to why they were wanting this particular home I was showing.
Got it, got it, got it. Okay, perfect. So now we've scheduled this meeting. Okay.
Mhm.
Hi, Anne. Thanks so much for doing this. I just had some questions. I want to make sure I've got everything ready when I meet with you tomorrow night. So let's kind of go through what you've told me already. Okay. So, number one, you guys are highly excited about this house that we looked at on Sunday, right? It's a mile away from your daughter. It's going to get you exactly where you want. That's awesome. And if we can make this move, right? If we can get your house sold quickly enough, make the numbers work that you can make this move, you guys are ready to do it. Is that right? Okay,
Yes.
great. And did you have details on that? Did you know those numbers? Because that's where I'd go
No,
next.
yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So I'd go to, okay, awesome. So let's just get super clear on that. So you need to sell your house for what in order to feel like you can
Four,
make this move?
410.
410. Okay, got it. And you need to be able to get the other house for what?
Roughly the same, around 410.
Got it. Okay, super clear on that. So when I come out on Tuesday, besides talking about can we support those numbers and can we get you moved fast, what other goals do you have for that meeting?
Um, how quickly do you think we can get the house on the market?
Okay,
And
great.
we have to sell our house before we purchase this house. So what your thoughts are on making a contingent offer?
Okay. And explain to me what the situation is with the contingency. So what's the important thing? Is it being able to afford the two houses at once?
Yes,
Okay, so making two mortgage payments that you don't want to do?
yes.
Okay,
And we
great.
can't do it financially. We've looked into it and we're not able to afford one, both
You
of the
got it.
mortgages at the same time.
Okay, fantastic. Talk to me real quickly while we're on it about your down payment. So is that coming from the equity up from the house or is that
Yes,
set aside? Okay,
that's going to come
perfect.
from
So
the
we need
equity of the
that
house.
for two of those things. Okay, great.
Yes.
And when we make this move happen, what will that accomplish for your family?
Well, it will bring us closer to our daughter and then being able to, assist her with the day to day with the grandkids.
Love it. Yeah. Okay. And if we can't make this happen, what's plan B?
We keep looking.
Okay. Okay. And kind of heart focus on that area and keep watching till the right thing comes up.
Yes.
You got it. And I can help with that. So I can really help you focus on those homeowners and really try to find out who's in there that might be wanting to sell if we don't get this one, but we're going to get this one. So don't worry about that. Okay, now let me ask you, since we're talking about you hiring me as your realtor, what are you looking for in the realtor that you hire to sell your home and help you buy a home?
We're looking for someone that has, the sense of urgency that we have,
Okay.
that has, that is able to communicate effectively and keep us up to date on, sorry, I got these two schnauzers and they're loud.
We can't hear them,
Keep
so
us
you're
up to
good.
date on what's going on.
Okay, so good communication to keep you updated all the time on what's happening in the market, what's happening as far as showings and stuff. And then the same sense of urgency that, yes, we can get this done. How quickly can we do it? Okay, you got it. How much do you, well, you said you want to sell your house for 410. Okay, is that the price you can't go below?
Ideally, that's what we paid for it, and we
Okay.
we could go, probably if we had to, you know, maybe 399.
Okay, okay. And again, I don't know yet. I'm going to look at all this before we meet. So I'm going to really study the market before I get there. But that's super important for me to know if we have any wiggle room in there. Okay. So when I take a close look at that market, I'm assuming that when I show you that stuff, you'll be willing to work with me and price it at a price that it will sell.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. And then is there anything positive or negative about your house that might affect the price?
The Probably the negative. I mean, I'm an excellent, and this was really, she thought she was amazing, and it was real cute, amazing decorator. She showed me pictures.
Okay.
So I think it's definitely show home ready.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we've only lived there 2.5 years,
Hmm.
um, and although this could work out for us, they just closed out the neighborhood.
Yes, that
Um,
always helps. Always
yeah, so
helps.
that is positive.
Yep.
But the fact that we've only lived there for a very short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this as well, as far as a negative. If you had to bring money to closing, are you willing to do that?
I think we can, yes.
Okay, not the most fun part. I don't ever like to bring that up, right? But because you bought it for this, the neighborhood's just closed, we might be up against that. But I'll make sure that we talk about that in detail on Tuesday and all our options. Sound good?
Great.
Okay. So let me ask, are you planning to interview any other realtors?
No, not at this time.
Okay, great. So I know I'm going to see it on Tuesday and walk through in great detail, but if you would quickly describe your house for me. I know you said it's decorated, great. What else?
It's a 3 bedroom, two bath, a little under 2,000 square feet. Just like this one, it's maintenance free living, ranch, all on one floor.
Okay.
great proximity to everything that's, happening.
Yeah, that location is great. Yep. Okay, great. And then let's see. Do you have any additional questions for me?
I don't.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to drop off a booklet of information for you. Okay, I can email it as well, but I'll drop it off to you and it's going to say everything that I'm going to do to get your house sold for you. Okay, so look through that before I come out on Tuesday. And then if you have any questions about it, make sure you let me know. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. And then in the meantime, here's what I want you to do. Okay. I'm going to study the market. I'm going to be bringing a lot of detailed information about what's happening in the market. Okay. What's selling, what it's selling for. I'm also going to bring some net sheets. Okay. So once we figure out where you can sell this house, a breakdown of what you might be able to walk away from with that sale. And then I'll also bring one for your buy side. So once we know that, we're going to push it over to the buy side and then see where you might end up on that. Okay. Once we have that conversation, then we'll walk through, see what you need to get ready for the market and how quickly we can do that. Does that sound good? Okay. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Awesome. So now just think about that. That's simple. It's not real different from what you're doing. That's what I want you guys to hear. Okay. And do you think that step could have potentially changed what they did?
Yes, because I I don't think I put enough impact on what I was going to be doing to prepare the
Yes.
hours I was putting into it, because she
Yes.
even said that when I got her on the phone. She was like, Anne, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you were going to because I had already dug into things for hours and hours on Tuesday.
Guys, okay, there's the
Yes.
aha. We're
Yes.
solidifying the relationship. We're making sure they understand what we're going to do for them, how detailed we're going to go, right? There's a lot of things happening in this process outside of just getting the answers to these questions. That's exactly what I want you guys to get out of this. Okay, that's exactly why I wanted to role play it with you, because you can hear it and you hear in asking these questions and answering it for them. Man, it takes you so much deeper than you were when you were standing in the open house. And now they think you know as much as this Zillow agent because they've just told you too bad. Okay, so
Yes.
yay, live and learn and make this a part of your process 100% of the time. You ask every single person, every single question on this list every time before you meet them.
Yes.
Okay. And the whole reason we make now, when you're good enough at it, okay, you can answer all 17 in your head at an open house.
Okay.
You got to be real good at it. You got to know this list inside and out. You got to know which numbers. You got to be checking them off in your head while you're having the conversation, right? That's about the only way you can do it at an open house. Okay. So remember that. Remember then, once you leave them and you say, okay, I've got the bare minimum information. Can I call you later today and dig in a little deeper on the rest of the questions that I have to get ready for the appointment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then that you see, you set this up. Now that we have a time scheduled to come out, you may not always have that. But the intention of this is that you ask the initial questions, then you've got to go deeper in pre-qual. Okay. And so this is a separate step. Okay. Beautiful. I'm going to scroll. You guys know I hate that, but let's jump to 44 real quick and let's look at the buyer side of this because the same thing. We're looking for ready, willing, and able buyers. And then we're going to decide where we're going to place them if they're missing one of the things. It doesn't mean we don't work with them. It just means we don't show them houses today. Okay? Does that make sense? So hear that. It doesn't mean we don't work with them. It means we just don't rush out and show them houses today if they don't have the high motivation. We find other homework for them to do. They need to drive around their favorite neighborhoods on the weekends and the evenings and narrow it down to their top 3 for me. Okay, you guys have plenty of homework you can give them in the meantime. That's the other huge piece of this, Anne. Think about if they owed you something by the time you got
Mhm.
there and you told them exactly what you would be bringing, done.
Yep.
Yep, you said,
Yep.
here's my homework, here's your homework, done. Okay. So again, it solidifies that relationship. Same exact thing for your buyers. Same exact thing. Okay, so you need to be
Okay.
setting the buyer consultation. You're going to meet them wherever. Floor call, open house, referral, wherever it is, doesn't matter. You're going to ask what you need to know. You're going to ask as much of this as you can find out, and then you're going to set the appointment to meet them if they're ready, willing, and able. Okay? Don't set it if they're not. That's what you have to remember. There is someone behind them that is, and you've got to keep going. Okay?
And Julie, what did you
Mhm.
say again for a couple weeks ago? The majority, you can't say all, but like open house folks, I think you said typically speaking, they're like 12 months out
Yep.
ish,
Yep. 16 to 18 actually is the number.
16 to 18. Okay.
16 to 18. Now, when you get a seller in the neighborhood, right, that's totally different, right? Because that
Yep.
triggered something else and they're not as far out. Okay. So sellers are closer, buyers are typically farther out. Because, right, where are the buyers if they have to close on something in the next 60 or 90 days? In your cars. Right?
Yep.
They've done their buyer consult. You're sending them houses. You're talking to them. You're out showing them houses. Okay. So that's why it tends to be. And if they have a realtor, right? Some of them do. That means they're even that much closer to making the step because they've at least reached out to their realtor to open the can of worms. Right. So that means maybe there's opportunity to convert there too. Right. So ask the right questions. Okay. So let's glance through this list. And I want you guys to look at anything that you're failing to ask.
Okay. Okay.
Throw them in the chat box, shout it,
Yeah. Oh,
whatever you want to
sorry.
do.
Probably number 5, especially,
Mhm.
how soon do you need to moved in?
Okay. Mhm.
Here, number 6.
Oh, you guys, that's a huge one. If we find the right property, are you prepared to write an offer
Mm,
today? If you're not asking that question to every single buyer, you have to in every market, right? And how helpful was that question the past 3 years in this market? It's a good one. One a lot of you miss is 3. Have you been working with a realtor to help you look at properties? Okay. Are you interested in hiring me as your realtor when we meet? Right? That's another one we tend to miss. Do you have a budget for your monthly payments? Right? I truly want to know. I don't just want to know if they have a price point from a lender and been approved. I want to know if they've done a budget. Right? How often do those two things interfere? They're told what they can be approved for, but when they actually sit down and look at their monthly, it doesn't work. Is there anyone else that will be helping you make the decision about buying? How many times have we run into that? We think they're ready, willing, and able, and then find out dad is the bank. Dad is not ready, willing, or able, potentially. Right? That can kill a deal. That can kill motivation for sure. What times are best for you to look at homes? Why am I asking that question? Because I have specific times I'm available to show homes. And we may not, yay, Nathaniel, look at you, flipped yourself. We may not be aligned on when they can see houses. I never worked on Sunday, Saturday morning. If all they had was Sundays to show houses, I may not take them. Okay, so that was an important question. How do you like to communicate? Are you aware of how a buyer's agent get paid? Do you have a house you're interested in? Investment properties you like? And then available for 30 minutes. When we meet, if we agree to work together, are you prepared to sign a commitment to hire me as your agent? Okay. And then we're going to set to-dos. All right. It is 9 o'clock. You guys have got to get these questions out in front of you, right? Have them everywhere. Have them accessible all the time. That's the only way you're going to memorize them, and start working through this process with every single buyer and everything single seller. Okay. This is a key to managing this market, and tell me if it doesn't help you get more efficient and land more deals. Okay. And VIP for today, thank you for being our awesome sharer and learning with us. That's a huge one. And you're going to nail that next one, no question.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.